Yeah, man, you already know, man. Shout out to all of our access media. Y'all already know how we coming, man. Straight like that. You feel me? Where it's raw at Free BG, Mr. Y and G.
You have tuned in to All Viral Access Media.
What's up? This your girl Gemini the Queen out of Ohio. You have now tuned in to All Viral Access Media.
You now tuned in to All Viral Access Media. You dig?
Okay, peace everybody. Just want to give y'all a heads up. First of all, I want to thank Laughs, Gags, and Gossip. That is the YouTube channel. She follows me, and if it wasn't for her, I would never had this interview. So I told her I would definitely shout her out. You could go to her YouTube channel. Again, it's Laughs, Gags, and Gossip, and she did an interview with him as well. And let me just say this before I get into it, is that I think he was playing damage control, or he just, like, he did so many interviews on this, so he basically was tired of it all. You know, let's just sweep it under the rug, and you're not like that, like just forget about it. But you could tell that he wasn't as forthcoming, but he was direct. But you could tell, but the interview was good, and I definitely thank him because he did not have to do it. So I'm giving y'all a heads up, but y'all let me know what y'all think. Do you think he was very direct, or do you think he was like treading carefully? Y'all let me know. He said some things in there, but I felt he kind of, I guess he was cautious with me. I think that's the right way to put it. So let's get into it, and thank y'all for watching, and only on All Viral Access Media, baby. Shout out to Laughs, Gags, and Gossip. Let's get into it. Peace. Peace, everybody. Welcome back to All Viral Access Media. Please like, please share, please subscribe, and click that bell for more notifications. Now, this is really sporadic, and I want to thank my peoples for hooking me up with this this interview. And I'm just going to get straight to it, man, with no further ado. We have somebody who was there with R. Kelly from basically the inception, or his early beginnings. And let's get into it, man. Who I have here with us today is Demetrius Smith, who was R. Kelly's first manager. Am I correct?
Well, I was his personal assistant back in the days. His first manager was Chuck Smith.
Okay, so his personal assistant, and later became his manager.
No, I always was like a protege with him. He was always Robert was a kid when I met him.
Okay.
And I raised him, groomed him, and until he got his deal. So that was like 6 years before he even made it. I was with him, grooming him, and that's how I started him. I talked to him with Barry Hankerson to get him his deal. Barry got him his deal. I introduced him. I talked Mr. Hankerson into listening to Robert, and from there it happened. You know.
Okay.
That's my history with him. I don't have a extended history with him. He is like family to me, even in spite of we've been through some things, but that's between us, because we are. I consider him family, you know, even though I feel in some way, you know, that I went through the things I went through with him, but that doesn't exclude the fact that I have history with him, and I'm concerned about him.
Right. So do you think, just to jump heads on, just straight in, so do you think from the beginning, like when you was with him and you had him sing for Barry Hankerson and everything, the ball just started rolling? From my understanding from an interview that you did previously, that, what's his name, Craig Hodges?
Yes, my brother-in-law.
Right, your brother-in-law, he fronted the money for him to basically start recording.
He got his career kicked off. He did his, you know, he put him in the studio. He got about 2-3 albums out of him that he was able to shop after that relationship expired.
And he never paid Craig Hodges back, not even to this day.
No, he never paid Craig. You know, that's my assumption. And my relationship with my brother-in-law, my sister, that, you know, there's, he never paid them back, from my understanding of them.
Now, first, how is Craig Hodges, man? Because he was good on the Bulls, man. So he was definitely one of the greats.
I
man.
give Craig a lot of, we went through a growing phase, and Craig is a man of heart. He has a passion for people, and that's how he was back in the day. And we're dealing with Robert. He's a man about the people, and he had a big heart. And we both went through a learning experience in dealing with Robert in the earlier years. But to say how is Craig is a big man in my heart. He works. He's still a basketball man, and he's still a man of the community. So
shout out to Craig, man. Shout out to Craig.
Yes,
You're a legend. So shout out to you, brother. And okay, now, so wow, I really don't know where to begin because this was definitely sporadic, but we definitely gonna get through this, and it's gonna be good. So with that being said, now your early beginnings with him, what did you see in his character that you said, okay, he has talent, but it's something else going on with him? And I say that because Nas said on the interview that I did a tour with R. Kelly and stuff like that, but when I was speaking to the man, I knew something was wrong with the man. You understand what I'm saying? Just by having a conversation. So can you express the same thing?
Well, what I saw in Robert Kelly was a shy kid. Okay, we're supposed to. I saw a shy kid, a kid that he was a baby boy. He was like a mama's boy. He was like a kid that people would pick on. I met him at a talent show, and he sat behind the piano with dark glasses like Stevie Wonder. And he, to me, I almost thought he was blind because of his shyness, because of the way he stood behind them glasses, and they were like a protection to him. Right. So therefore, he was hiding something, but. I took him under my wing. I was an entertainer at the time, and I took him under my wing, and daily he showed me his talent. But I seen a shy kid that didn't know, had fear of standing up. He didn't never come outside unless he was going to in the subway and taking him different places that he didn't go by himself. He had friends, but I didn't associate with them in that respect. I met a young kid that was talented. I had a band. Bam. This kid had songs. My objective was to work him. My objective was to make him perform and pay for himself because he had that kind of talent.
Right, and make some money at the same time. Don't be afraid to say it.
It was always
about
making money. That's what you work for. The money. Exactly. That's why I say let him pay itself. That was a self-sufficient, independent entity right there. Right. I didn't need nobody. You just let me get the band together, put them together on the stage, groom them, and that's exactly what I did. I didn't see any of the. I saw selfishness. I saw that trait. I saw. As he grew, again, I was with him when he was 16 years old, and 16, 17, 18, then we separated because, we were hustling, and everything to work out, and I'm a street man. When it didn't work out right here, I went another place to make some more money, and I got caught up. Right. And I got separated from him, and then I got back with him again, and I jumped in there with him in Public Announcement. I jumped in there with him in MGM. And I always helped direct where he was going, and my job and my heart was always to protect him. He had that kind of a array about himself that he needed to be protected and needed to feel confident. And that's what I did. I gave him confidence. Right. And he grew into that, and still knowing about his illiteracy and all those things, that made me put that umbrella over him. And he began to step out on his own. Now that's where he came to. Mm-hmm.
As far as the illiteracy and he couldn't read and things in that nature, who did Barry Hankerson was aware of that, right?
Oh yeah.
Now
because I had Robert, I took Robert.
Exactly. So. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go right ahead. Go ahead.
Well, I just let him know how Robert was, because Robert, we went to audition for a play that Barry Hankerson was doing at the Regal Theater on 79th in Chicago, and Robert couldn't read, so I knew that I would have to be the one to read the script. And I didn't know if they was going to go for that because they heard his voice, and that was appealing. So I saw Mr. Hankerson sitting in the audience, and I went out there and I sat with him, and I convinced him to listen to Robert right there. And I went and got his keyboard out the car, and Robert played for him, and that's history now.
Right.
Because Barry went right to work.
And he damn sure been, well, did he fuck him over on any of his projects since he knew that he couldn't read of some sort?
Well, when you're in the beginning of the game, it's like you're coming in new,
right,
and here's a golden goose.
That's right.
And Barry, at the same time, was a businessman.
Right.
And that's how I see Mr. Hankerson, as a businessman. And he always showed me the game of business. He was a businessman. Did he take advantage of Robert? No. For me, did he have the opportunity? Was in the beginning, probably he had a vision to want to control this.
Right.
So I would think that that's a natural thing that any businessman would want to do. But to misuse him, I didn't see Robert's paperwork. He did have a way with Robert to where Robert swayed to Barry and away from me. You see, and that showed a lack of loyalty.
So, absolutely, because you was the gatekeeper. Basically.
Right. I was the one that opened the door. It was my demo tape that my people that pulled them up. It was the demo tapes that got them the deal. Barry didn't have to go put them in the studio, none of that. He went and took the demo straight to Jive Records with other people that had an ear and heard him, and it all worked out. And from there, Robert stayed busy. And he went with Mr. Hankerson for a while, and he came back a different person.
Now, because I know I only got you for a little bit of time, so I'm just gonna dive head in. So now, I remember you saying when him and Aaliyah got married, right? And you said when they got married inside of the hotel, and you said she was kind of nervous or whatever, and she gave you a look like, talk to me. Those the verse verbatim, but I wanted to interpret that as help me. Was it like help me or a nervous like please talk to me? I don't know what I'm doing. Explain that.
I kind of like I look at it like that to say that when you looked at her and she looked at me and it's like I feel totally responsible for that, man, and I feel remorseful, and I feel like I only can say I'm sorry for my part in that because. When she looked at me, I can only see her now, and I can say, I let her down, man. I let both of them down by not making a different decision because of where I was at and what I had been. And it was all a shock to me. It wasn't something that you saw happening. It was something that happened instantaneously. And I saw two people that were in my vision. I saw love with Robert and Aaliyah, man. To be honest with you, and to look back at it, I saw them as two people in love. Not to say that it was correct, but their parents also were there with everything, and I was in a position to say, hey, man. I did say, hey, man, don't do this. Y'all can't do this. You hear what I say, y'all? So I'm not like the big man, but I was closest to Rob, and I should have called Barry Hanks. I should have called her uncle. And I thought about that now. But then I feel like I was kind of just numb, man. I was numb. I really was because it was, and I want to close that, man, because I want to take responsibility, and I think that Aaliyah family has been through enough with this, man. I mean, for me, Robert dishonored us all in respect to Aaliyah. I can't put anything on Aaliyah. To say Aaliyah looked at me and I should have made a better decision, that's what I see in her face. Like, Johnny, I'm a kid. I'm a kid.
Right.
And it hurts me, man.
So the parents was definitely not aware because
they were not aware. We were deceived by that, man. Like I say, we saw, and I said, man, let's call them, man, because they know they know that y'all have a bond. Y'all have something special. because the way that y'all flowed, we didn't see that you was doing anything with her. We thought that it was innocent, and we thought that she fits your level. They say that a woman is faster than a man in growth anyway.
Absolutely.
Was young also, and it was something, man, that I wish I'd have made a better decision, man. Had I made a better decision, it might be different. So I take the weight of that, man, and my soul is going to bear the I reap what I sow in that, man. And I think that in respect to talking about Aaliyah, that we should let it go now. We have our answers to that. I think we all have our answers to that, man. I think we know that he married her. It was a form of admitting it when he sent the lawyers to say that he didn't know how old she was. We know the truth in that, and we know also that that's the point. It's done. We know it's done, and we know it was done. So let's think about let's keep honor. Let's keep Aaliyah's legacy positive, man.
Absolutely.
Because she's not responsible for that, man. Regardless to people saying little girls or young girls are screwing out here at 14 and 15, they are. And if it wasn't Robert, she probably wouldn't have never been a part of it because of the bond that she had.
From what I heard, because I know some people as well that not and I want to say this for those who's going to hear this. I'm not trying to paint her in a negative light, because I love Aaliyah, and I tell y'all all the time, I got so many stories when she went to my school in Atlanta to perform. So come on, I got mad love for Aaliyah.
Aaliyah was a child, man, and she should not be held accountable for this. And there's so many people that we all make mistakes, man, and we all do something that we regret. And I can only, as long as you keep waking me up, I got to keep going on.
That's right.
You see? And he knows my remorse. He knows my heart, and we all know what part we played in that. And if we all could have made a better decision, we would have, and we would. But let's let Aaliyah rest right now, man. Let's let her mama rest. She lost Aaliyah, and she lost her husband.
Right.
And we know the truth of that, man. Aaliyah was a good girl, man. She was an angel to us, and it hurts me to see people keep talking about her. Let's let her rest now, man. We know the truth.
Absolutely.
He did marry her. So for me, that hurt me the most with him, and for me personally, because I went on the line with him as well in my action and not being a big man and saying, "Get this, you ain't doing this."
Because you did say, I didn't want to say this, but you did say that you did your little connections for with the certificate thing, the marriage certificate too. So
yeah, but I did not forge the marriage certificate. I did not. Those words, I have to go back to Lifetime. Lifetime told me they were doing a documentary on Robert Kelly's beginning. They wanted to explore the subway and talk about how he grew up. And they say they had my book. We said, we got your book, and your book is very informative regarding his beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I wrote a book in prison. You see, after I left Robert, after Aaliyah, I went to prison for 5 years and 4 months and 60-some days. And in there, I wrote a book. I didn't go in there to write a book to talk about Robert or to hurt him. I wrote a book about me. But he was in my life for 12 years. So he's in my book for 12 years.
Right, basically.
Which tells how I came up with him. And that's an interesting story. But also my life is an interesting story. So most people my book has been out for 8 years.
Right, and I want you to promote that as well at the end, and I want everybody to go get his book. So now, I remember what you said. You said that some of these girls, they would be young and their parents wouldn't even care. And that's the interview you did with something Nati, some I think it was a white radio station, some dude, whatever. I forgot his name, but shout out to him.
It's Tiffany. You talking about Tiffany?
Yeah,
that was another. But see, when I met Tiffany, and people say you was over there with them. When I met them, they were background singers for Aaliyah, and they were going to be Robert. They was grooming them as young artists anyway. But they were friends that I didn't know that he knew. You see, when I went around, their parents would be around, and plus Tiffany had a baby. So I didn't look at her as a child. I didn't see her. I didn't look at them at all, being honest with you, because they were with adults, or it was 3-4 of them together, and they were rehearsing and dancing. and stuff like that. And I didn't see these things about. When I saw them, they was all like, Robert was like a big kid, man. He might have been a little older than them, but they all was kids, and I was always practicing, always singing, always thinking about where he's going with this music, we were always dreaming about where he's at right now. And I guess, I don't know how he got, but then again, I didn't know what he was going home to in respect to what's come out about his
sister, right.
Right, I didn't know that, but then now when I look at that, I'm a person that looks for understanding in the things that hurt us. And I got to look at her to be sympathetic in that also, because she was 15. You see, she was a kid. Now, now I put it aside now, because that's between her family and that's between them to fix it. It's like Aaliyah. I don't want to talk about that anymore, because rest in peace, Aaliyah. Rest in heaven. Let her mom not keep hearing this stuff come up no more. Right. I did what I did. I'm sorry. I wish I had made a better decision. I'm not looking for an excuse. I have cried, and I mean this with all my heart. I have cried pretty much every day of my life since she's been gone. And I mean that with all my heart. It don't stop hurting. So imagine what her mama going through, man. Imagine what we're doing to them.
Absolutely.
We have to stop. Now, y'all talk about we love. Let's walk in that. Let's know what we're from. We're from love. And God gave us a woman to soothe us. Right. And that's where we have to stay. And we have to be compassionate. And we have to, and certain things. And Robert, I don't think that things are right in how this has come upon him in respect to Lifetime, because again, they took my words. I talked to him for about 4 hours or more. So it's
a lot of things Lifetime did. So basically, what Lifetime told you one thing, and they try to get some things out of you, and they edit it in a way to make you look a certain way.
Yes, I mean,
let's talk about that.
Thinking I'm working with him now. They got you thinking I've been with him for the last 20 years. Now I ain't been with Robert since '95.
Hello, Mike. I tune in to All Viral Access Media. Make sure you subscribe to All Viral Access Media, where real conversation that matters goes down. Love this channel.